Did you get caught self-loving by your mom?
Awkward. It is awkward.
Did you do something that got you fired from your job?
I just get stupider.
It's fun being stupid.
Don't hide this in vain. Let us laugh at your pain. Call 600-KFMA right away.
I promise we won't embarrass you.
Because Beef Vegan presents F My Life. F My Life. F My Life.
Yes, time for another edition of Your F My Life. These are unfortunate situations. Email to me at beef@kfma.com, subject line FML. But of course, if you have an F My Life you care to share on the air, give us a call at 600-KFMA. That's 600-5362. And Mari and I will weigh in on your F My Life situation. If we agree your life is F, we'll hook you up with tickets for Ice Nine Kills, performing along with the Funeral Portrait and many others. Dayseekers on that bill, too. A sick-ass show at the Mullet Arena. All right, you ready to hear, Mari?
Ready.
All right. First email sent to me by Megan. Megan said, Beef. My grandma once gave me a sex talk, but not the usual one. All right. This one was about mouth hugs.
Wait.
I'm saying mouth hugs for the radio.
I still.
You still don't understand what that is. Kisses down below.
Oh.
Okay, see? I don't want to get fired here.
Okay.
So
Thank you for the clarification.
yeah, so Megan had to sit there politely as she explained in excruciating detail. It's something that all women have to learn if they want to have a well-behaved husband.
Wow.
And that it's a quote-unquote acquired taste.
Wow.
Gag me, she wrote. And I was tempted to write back like, well, I mean, why have your grandma gag you? Sounds like you're getting prepared for everyone else to.
Oh, man.
F My Life. What do you say, Mari?
No, I kind of want to say big baby because where was my grandma like that? I mean, my husband could behave a little differently, and maybe that's what I'm missing.
I've been telling you this whole time I've known you. I was like, you know what you need to do, Mari.
I know.
No, okay. So, but very awkward. Sex talks in general, definitely awkward.
Yeah.
Sex talks with grandma about one specific thing, completely F My Life. All right, next FML sent to me by Trevor. Trevor said, my 20-year-old came whining to me, asking why his job interviews keep going so poorly. I had to delicately explain that the quote-unquote pimp slap tattoo that he has put on his right hand recently may have something to do with it.
That's my nightmare. So yeah, FML.
Yeah, I mean, eventually, it would be so normal to have just weird things tattooed all over everyone and be like, yeah, this is my lawyer. He has pimp slap tattoo right across his face. But as of right now, I'm sure it's going to make it a little difficult. So yeah, that's F your life. Your son's going to be living with you forever.
Yep.
All right, next FML sent to me by Tanya. Tanya said, the other day I was talking to a customer when I choked on my spit. After I could breathe again, I was so embarrassed. I said the first thing that popped in my head, which was, I'm sorry, I don't know how to swallow. F My Life.
I gotta say big baby again because that's accurate. You
Yeah.
forgot.
Yeah, and it's funny. I'm sure the customer had to laugh as well. Big baby. Embarrassing, but big baby.
Yeah.
All right, two more left, and these ones are, it's Friday for sure. Okay, so Patty sent me this first one. She said, Beef, I caught my husband in bed with his side chick yet again.
Oh.
2 weeks ago, he promised me he wouldn't do it again. And last Saturday, I caught him again.
Oh.
Today marks the fourth time.
What?
Yes, we've been together for 8 years and have 3 children. Dun, dun, dun.
Ooh, that's under a decade, too. That's pretty fresh.
Yeah, man. And it seems like, your husband's just not a faithful dude. So either, you're like, hey, well, we're in an open relationship, or you just got to do the hard thing and go.
Yes.
And the fact that infidelity is always going to be an F My Life, especially if your heart's
Absolutely.
involved.
Mhm.
So I feel that pain. F My Life, Patty. Good
Big
luck.
time.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, final F My Life is a little lighter, but double as creepy.
Okay.
Okay. Renee sent me this. She said, Beef, I found out that my neighbor gets more pleasure out of me and my husband getting it on than I do. You know what that means?
Yes.
Yeah.
A peeping Tom.
Peeping Tom, peeping wankster.
Yeah, that's creepy. That's a big time FML.
And on top of it, she's not even getting good pleasure from her husband.
That sucks. It's like a double FML.
You know what? If you told that to your neighbor, maybe he'd wank less to it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
You just mention that to him next time you see him out the window.
Yeah. Or you just make it sound like, yeah, that right there. Yeah, you're the man. You're the man. You know what I mean?
See this?
So gross. F My Life.
Yes.
all the way around. All right, so keep those emails coming, beef@kfma.com. We'll hit the reset. When we come back, not only will we give you an opportunity to win tickets for Ice Nine Kills, but we'll give you the beef of the week. And the beef of the week this week is a big one. It's Paramount versus the president.
Oh.
I will get you all filled in right after these words. Rock 102.1 KFMA. What I got Herb ready to go, but he's not here yet. Well, he's not in yet. All right, we're live on a podcast broadcast, and yes, Liz, it was a weird thing that we had dead air this morning, but I got it fixed after a while, and it was a naked man story, and I will fill you in on that. But first, Patrick, if you're on the stream, make sure I see you in the comments. I gotta have a hard talking to Patrick here. So here's the deal. If I see Patrick's comments, because Patrick will have tickets to give away for Ice Nine Kills here if he can't go to the show. Now, Patrick has been trying to win tickets for Ice Nine Kills all week long. And, he streams the show from Sierra Vista. So whenever he calls in to win these tickets, he's like massively delayed, right? So he misses the opportunity by a mile.
Right.
Now, obviously, we all know Patrick here on the stream. He's an OG streamer. He's been riding with us for quite some time. And I like to hook you guys up if you really want something, right? So he tried many times over. He's saying, I really want these tickets. I really want these tickets. So this morning, I messaged Patrick directly, and I'm like, hey, don't call in for Ice Nine Kill tickets this morning. And then he responds back okay. And I'm swerving him. I'm like, because I already got you a pair. And he's like, oh my God. Yeah, thanks. All that good stuff and appreciative. And I'm like, yeah, it's like, I got you. You guys, everyone that, streams us live every day. Like if you need tickets that bad, I got you. Right. If I can. Right. And so I was happy to hook him up until he then messaged me back 5 minutes later, and he goes, he's like, yo, if those tickets haven't been sent out yet, don't worry about it. I can't make it up there on a Thursday. And I had to respond back with, what the actual fuck, Patrick? So, he's not even on the stream yet. No. And I'm like, Patrick, you better get your ass on that stream, figure out what your deal is, and then ask the streamers who wants to go to Ice Nine Kill, and then you can forward, those tickets, because I can't undo it once I do it.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, once it's in the system, it's done. I don't have access. They don't give me full access to this stuff, Mm-hmm. So this is just like, dude, you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm trying to do a nice thing, and I say it all the time, no good deed goes unpunished, and I'm like, and stop making this prophetic, stop making it a thing. Just take the good deed. So get on it. Patrick's not even on the stream right now. If you watch it in hindsight, message somebody. Let's do a quick little segment on the air. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Figure Presents. Obviously, this week, when we look back on it historically, we're going to remember this was the week that we lost the Prince of Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne. Right. And we still look back right now in fondness of all things Ozzy. And I do want to give you just report this list that Rolling Stone put together of funny Ozzy-isms to remember him by. So this is our top 5 Ozzy-isms according to Rolling Stone. Okay. Which I think is great. Here's one. He goes, starting off at number 1. He said, the thing about life that gets me crazy is that by the time you learn it all, it's too late to deal with it. It should be the other way around. You should be born with all the sense and knowledge, and it gets stupider as we get older. And yeah, here. A lot of people, they think of Ozzy Osbourne and they think of him as the character in the Osbourne, or, keep in the show, the Osbournes, right? But a wise man.
Yes.
Absorbed a lot of wisdom over the years.
Oh, yeah.
And that makes me believe that if you snort ants, you get smarter. So. Like this Ozzyism. Viagra's a great sleeping drug. I take Viagra and Sharon goes right to sleep.
Oh, that's funny.
Yes. He was good with the zingers too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, people who knew Ozzy personally always talked about his sense of humor and how hilarious he was.
Oh, yeah.
Number 3. Sometimes I'm scared of being Ozzy, but it could have been worse. I could have been Sting.
Oh, God.
Yes. I love it. All right. 2 more left here. Steve Jones of the Sex Pistols once said to me, I hated the Beatles. To me, that's like saying you hate air.
Yeah, no, I guess I was reading something that like the Beatles were like really important to him. Like that's what got him into music.
Yeah, well, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. And that means he was a musician's musician because, yes, I mean, the Beatles were pop stars and they had lots of great songs that were simple songs, but they also had a lot of complex songs. So people who usually like swear by the Beatles being the greatest of all time, in my dealings with, are usually those who are musicians, play, lots of different instruments and can appreciate the complexity of especially like later era Beatles music. Mm-hmm. All right, and then he said this. He goes, "My son Jack gets mad, PO'd sometimes. He said to me one day, 'Dad, the difference is whether people are laughing with you or at you,' right? Which is a common saying, right? It's better to have people laugh with you than at you. But Ozzy disagreed, and he said, as long as they're laughing, it doesn't matter.
Oh,
that's right.
I love that.
Just wanted to bring joy. So that's why we wanted to share that with you too. Some Ozzyisms to bring you joy on this Friday. All right, let's keep this conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. Be back right after music from Chevelle with a bunch of naked man stories that I did not get to this morning. I know. Yes, and I'll be right after Rabbit Holes. So keep it here. Join us, youtube.com/beefvegan. All right, so Ozzyism. Is Patrick on the stream yet?
I do not see, but hello, everybody.
Yes, hello, everybody. Yeah, and then see, like, Manny's going to be at, Iron Chef with us tomorrow.
Oh, fun.
OG Streamer 1, so he's good. Good morning, Brian. And I hooked up Manny with tickets, too. So, here's the deal. Like, I can't hook up tickets all the time, obviously. But, those who ride with us every day, if it's something you really want to go to and I have the opportunity to be like, yeah, okay, I got you. Like, it's been months since you won something. Yeah, I got you, right? But you got to not like beg for tickets and then get the tickets and immediately say you can't use the tickets. Thanks, Control Plus Russell. I saw the comment and I appreciate you checking out the show. Welcome to our community. I had a let's see sorry, I spaced out because
you said I had a.
I know. I know. I said I had a, but yeah, I had a was the sentence that screwed up the rest of my thoughts.
I have nothing.
I have no. I have something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna get to. I'm not gonna jump into our beef of the week. Beef of the week is a good one. So I will say this. I'll recap it. I will play the clip that kind of airs it out, but I figured out, and I feel like I figured out the reason why Paramount allowed South Park to air that season premiere, which went full scorched earth, as I said. That's the quote, yes. Scorched earth on President Trump. I mean, you couldn't have attempted to attack somebody even harder to make them more upset. If that was any of us, would be like, what the fuck, South Park? It's not that small, right? And you're like, wow, how would Paramount even allow that considering the merger? Well, it was announced yesterday that the merger was completed 100%. And that must have happened earlier in the week. So it's my theory, and I could be wrong because I wasn't in the room when all this happened. My theory is that, there was a lot of like theater, public theater with Trey Parker Matt Stone acting super upset about Paramount pushing back their season premiere. And I think actually there's a validity to that because South Park should have premiered about a month ago. And they were kind of tying things up with the deal because they wanted to make this merger go through. So what Paramount did is they settled the CBS lawsuit, the 60 Minutes lawsuit, $16 million. And then they fired Colbert, which President Trump then publicly celebrated. And then, not coincidentally, they greenlit the merger with some stipulations, right? That get rid of DEI and a bunch of other stuff that just seems like it's much ado about nothing, but that's what it is. And so they did the merger. So I believe the merger was complete on a Monday. Then they finished the South Park deal. And then it wasn't Trey Parker and Matt Stone saying, you know what we're going to do? We're going to say, fuck Trump. No, I believe it was Paramount executives that said, you know what you need to do now? You need to go at him, right? And basically they unleashed their like top assassins against the president as a big FU for having to do everything that they had to do to make this merger happen in the first place.
No, you've convinced me.
Yes. I mean, it makes sense. The timing lines up. And yesterday, again, it was announced and I'm like, haha. So they waited on that press release as well. But you know how these things work. When a big multi-billion-dollar deal gets done, they don't just announce it to the public 2 minutes after it's done. They go through all the publicists and make sure they have everything all set up. And that's what happened. So pretty intriguing to me, okay? So, all right, let's get ready. We're going to get on the air with a little bit of Naked Man. Rock 1 2.1 KFMA, it's Beefing Presents. In about 20 minutes or so, we're going to be talking with film critic Herb Stratford. Of course, first thing we're going to talk about is Fantastic Four, but there's a lot of releases happening this weekend, both the movie theaters and on the streaming services that I'm excited to go down the rabbit hole with. But first, let's do something like Naked Man, because, okay, I got to get you caught up. There's several different Naked Man stories that all popped up in the news in the last 48 hours.
48?
Yes, and this is... I guess this is a direct response, and this is a repercussion of global warming. The hotter it gets, the less clothes that we wear.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Makes sense.
Yeah. So yesterday we were talking about the Naked Man that went on a rampage at a Florida Planet Fitness. This is essentially basically a Florida man / Naked Man. And the story went like this. He was accused of trying to set a Florida gym on fire. His name was Henry, and he ran through the Planet Fitness in Fort Myers at closing time wearing nothing but confidence. And that's a quote from the police. He was asked to leave, but instead he went to the bathroom, allegedly tried to start a fire, then climbed through the roof. They found him naked in a tanning bed.
Oh,
And,
that's clever.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you kind of get trapped in there. Like, it's a good hiding spot.
True, and you get no tan lines. But like, hey, if I'm going to go to jail for a long time, I gotta look good, right?
No tan lines.
No tan lines whatsoever. So that's just one of the Naked Man stories that happened today. The other Naked Man story, this one was a doozy. This involved they actually compared this guy to a hippo, which is not good.
No.
Police in New York are looking for a 36-year-old named Steven who's had a wild weekend. They say that he stole a boat, then took a naked joyride down the Hudson River, and he allegedly was on something, possibly meth, which is not a good thing to be on when you're naked because it causes shrinkage.
But you're really hot, though, so it makes sense.
Yeah. But again, it's a misrepresentation of what you're packing because that's immediately it will shrink the dink. Yeah. And now cops caught up with him, arrested him, took him to the hospital for an evaluation. Then on Wednesday morning, the cop who was guarding him took a little nap. Somehow, Steven swiped the keys to his handcuffs, then grabbed a white lab coat and blue pants, disguised himself as a doctor.
What?
Yeah, so he could slip out of the hospital unnoticed. It worked.
Yep, not naked either.
Not naked at that time. He was arrested initially naked. Okay, so.
And as soon as he got out, he stripped down.
Yeah. He's like, freedom! Look at my pain. Mm-hmm.
He totally said that.
Yes. Okay. And it didn't stop there. Okay. So here's our third Naked Man story. And again, I really think this is because of global warming. And the hotter it gets, the more clothes come off. In fact, there's a mugshot. This Naked Man looks like Haley Joel Osment now.
Oh.
Look at him.
Oh, he does. I see it.
Yes. So this Naked Man, in fact, actually I get better music for Naked Man.
Oh, this
yeah.
Good Naked Man music.
Thank you. This Naked Man is in Oklahoma. He's the one that was compared to as a hippo. He was arrested for indecent exposure and public intoxication. And the bizarre incident started with a break-in inside a family home. Once the family confronted the Naked Man, because he broke into the house completely butt-ass, and this is terrifying.
Yes.
But once the family confronted him, he left out their back door, skipped to the pond, and then jumped in. Police said he was there for about an hour before they were able to get him out.
Just like frolicking in the pond?
Well, they said, this is a quote, he was wading around very much like a hippopotamus, like very strange.
Just rolling, just living his best life in his birthday suit.
Yeah. Well, because he's a giant man, and he did look like a hippopotamus. In fact, they describe him as 6'2" and over 400 pounds.
Whoa, that's a whole lot of guy.
Whole lot of guy. That's who came into your house completely naked, and this dude was super lucky that this family wasn't armed, dude, because that's a shoot first, ask questions later scenario.
Wouldn't they just like lock their doors and just peer at him from inside? Like, kids, look at this hippo.
Yeah, I don't know. There's lots of quotes about this, but yeah, there's 3 naked men within the last 48 hours, all unrelated.
Wow.
Yes.
It's global warming.
That's what
You're
I'm saying.
onto it.
Thank you. I got lots of theories. I'm knocking them all out the park today. All right, let's keep the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. You can join us, youtube.com/beefvegan. Yeah. All right. As we get Herb set up, earlier this morning we did our beef of the week. Oh, Andrew's it's a repeat. But guess what, motherfucker? I'm not on the air, so I can say motherfucker on your stream. You're not even gonna post this because you work for ESPN. That's owned by Disney, bitch. Yeah, you can suck a mouse dick, motherfucker. I hope he's live streaming.
What's Andrew looking at?
I don't know. He's also grooming me. All right. So if you guys don't know why they're doing this, you can check out my Instagram live stories at Beef Vegan. Earlier this morning, we did our beef of the week, explaining the Paramount thing more in detail. In case you missed it, it went a little something like this. Check it out. It's 10 this morning. One last chance to win those tickets for Pantera. Before that, we'll be giving away tickets for Ice 9 Kills. But I want to get into a huge heavyweight beef of the week.
Let's get ready to rumble.
All right, our beef of the week today is going to be the president versus Paramount. Okay, so now, as you may know, and we opened the show with this yesterday, talking about how South Park went full scorched earth on President Trump. They did not hold anything back.
Nothing.
This whole thing is, it was massive. They basically throughout the entire episode, said he had a very small penis. They kept taking shots on that. And at the very end of the episode, they did, which is essentially like a deep fake of what looked like President Trump stripped down completely naked in the desert, and then also showed a microphallus with eyes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it's hilarious. It's absurd. It's something that, this administration does not necessarily have the best sense of humor about themselves. And so, it's something that was going to rally up the White House, the current administration, and the president. But you think to yourself, like, oh, well, man, what a punk rock move by Matt and Trey that, they'll sign this $1.5 billion deal because it was announced literally the day before the premiere that South Park did complete their 5-year, $1.5 billion deal. And then the very next day, they did their premiere, which was delayed for about a month and a half, almost 2 months. And Matt and Trey were very upset about the delay. And publicly, anyways, they were expressing their disdain and their frustration over the fact that their premiere of South Park was pushed back. They did not like that. And then the day after the deal was, announced, they do the season premiere and they basically go full scorched earth. And I said at the time, I'm like, oh, this is something that's going to affect the potential merger, because right now what's really slowing everything down and what's making Paramount so paranoid, if you will, is the president's hatred towards them as a company, a media conglomerate, and also preventing them from being able to do this $1 billion merger with Skydance.
Right.
Then yesterday afternoon, it was announced that the merger actually went through, and Paramount and Skydance have successfully merged.
Is this related to CBS too? In the whole
Yes. Paramount owns CBS.
Okay.
Here's where things get interesting, and this is what I realized when I saw that. I was like, oh my God, it's not Matt and Trey saying F you to Paramount to mess up Trump. No, it was Paramount saying, go full scorched on him and giving them the directive to attack the president. And here's why. Yes, here's why. Okay, so when they announced that this merger was approved, that was a public announcement. They don't just make announcements 5 minutes after the ink is dry, right? They have to go through everything. Yes. So that deal was, done probably by the beginning of the week, shortly after they announced that Stephen Colbert was fired, and then they settled for $15 million for the $16
million, but like a drop in the bucket compared to $1.5 billion,
well, yes. Okay, so they announced that Stephen Colbert is fired, and they settled for $16 million. These are two things to appease the current administration to get them to approve the merger. So they approved the merger. Now, they did it with stipulations. Here's the FCC's conditions on the deal. Eliminate DEI, which is Diversity, Equality, and Inclusion initiatives at CBS. So they're just like, eliminate DEI. Appoint an ombudsman for at least 2 years to handle complaints about political bias in CBS, ensure balanced political programming, right? And review hiring, promotion, and procedure practices, right? So that was a part of the stipulations, okay? Here's the bottom line. The FCC's approval on July 24th, 2025, concludes a turbulent merger process that's raised heated debates about media independence, political influence, and corporate oversight. The merger's outcome could significantly reshape the future of CBS, Paramount Plus, and more. Okay. So my whole theory on what happened here was, okay, CBS was eating crow. What do we got to do? Okay, here's a settlement for the edit for 60 Minutes. Yes, we'll fire Colbert and not have a late night talk show. Wink, wink. You know, because that's not a forever thing, and I would not be surprised if they walk that back. But then, once it's all said and done, and the ink is dry, and they're like approved, like cool. Then they go to Matt and Trey, and they're like, "We need a new episode, and you need to go full out on Trump."
You know what? This checks out.
Yes, dude.
Because the way it was like, that's an intense episode.
Yes. So after they had to settle for millions of dollars, and then they, had to claim that they fired Colbert because they, it's a loss leader. Then they announced the deal, $1.5 billion. Obviously, they had the money to spend for the late show with Stephen Colbert.
Yeah.
And then out of spite and like, you know what? All right, well, screw you. We're gonna get our hardest hitting assassins.
Yeah. Oh, those guys are assassins.
They are
the most professional
and we're
assassins.
Destroy you, because there's no way in any reality that Paramount would allow that episode to air if they did not want everyone to see it. It wouldn't have aired on Comedy Central. It wouldn't be on YouTube. It wouldn't be on ComedyCentral.com. It wouldn't be on Paramount Plus. You go watch that episode in its entirety without any editing right now on all the platforms that Paramount owns. There's a reason why it's there and it's being promoted, and it's because Paramount, they weren't upset by it. It's probably something that they asked for. Wow. They said, here's your money, Matt and Trey. Thank you for all you do. By the way, we need you to do this solid for us.
Wild.
Yes. And that's the beef of the week. And it is wild. And I wouldn't even look at this as like, if you're listening out there, and I understand, half of you voted one way, half of you voted the other way. Well, let's say a third of you voted one way, a third of you voted the other way, and a third of you are just like, F it all together, right? This isn't even about politics. This is more about the juiciness of the drama.
Oh,
and just, it's like warfare, right? And such a smooth way. And now Paramount could be like, oh, shit, these guys. Can't control these guys. Oh, just gave them a bunch of money too. What do we do? Anyways, well, there's going to be a marathon this weekend, South Park. Only one episode for 24 hours straight. So my beef of the week is the cleverness of what seemed like Paramount bowing down and just taking it over and over again, like, whatever you want, here's some money, sorry, and then turning their assassins out to basically do a hit on the president's ego. Now, actually, ironically enough, Matt and Trey were at at Comic-Con just yesterday, right after everything aired. And they were asked about this. And Matt Parker, with a smirk on his face, said this. Listen to this.
Guys, did you anticipate the reaction today? Have you been following it? What do you make of it?
We're terribly sorry.
There you go. That's the official statement. And with a coy little smirk on his face, we're terribly sorry. And moving on. So the beef of the week, Paramount is not South Park creators versus President Trump. It is Paramount trying to get the last laugh after the merger finally got successful, after months and months of it being held back and tied up by the current administration. They were the ones that prevented it from the get-go, and then they put in all these stipulations, and Paramount basically agreed to all of them, and not willingly, but they did it, and their response in kind was South Park's season premiere.
Wild.
What a heavy beef of the week. What a crazy week it's been so far. All right, we got more coming up right after these words. Keep it right here. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. All right, we're back here live on the podcast broadcast, joined by film critic Herb Stratford. Going to be talking all things Fantastic Four here in just a second, and there's a bunch of different releases here. Real quick, I got Kim on the stream. Kim's a just popped across the stream, probably because the algorithm. We were talking about Paramount versus the president, and just flat out disagreeing with my assumption that they basically got the green light from Paramount to go full scorched earth on Trump. Now, again, this is something that I'm theorizing without being in the room, and you can disagree with it all you want. You can call me retarded all you want too, but I still stand by it. I really think that when you see the timeline line up with the announcement of the merger being greenlit, all right, what CBS had to do to jump through hoops to make this merger even happen, which I broke down some of the details, and that includes not only the settlement, not only possibly firing Stephen Colbert over political reasons, maybe not. They said financial reasons, but I thought the irony of them, announcing a $1.5 billion deal with South Park, the next week, didn't scream poverty to me. But with those things said, and everything that they did to get the president to greenlight this merger, because he was the only one holding it back, right? He controls his government all the way through, right? So with that said, they got the merger done after publicly humiliating Stephen Colbert, and then Trump's like, okay, and you do these things, you're good. So they did, they signed it, and they didn't announce that the merger went complete. What they did was instead announce that the deal with South Park was complete, and that the premiere, which was pushed back over a month, was set to happen the next day. Then we all know what happened the next day. The premiere of South Park went, and for the first time in the last 8 years, they actually went directly at Trump. Now, before they would kind of subtly go after Trump, but it was Trump as Garrison, as I was talking about yesterday, and that they used that, and they said many times publicly that they wouldn't necessarily go after Trump because what else can they say? You know what I mean? To them, it's low-hanging fruit, right? They're artists. Matt and Trey are brilliant on many different ways, but in this case, then they're just like, fuck it. Now we're going to use his face, and we're actually going to just deep fake him and give him a microphallus. This is really going to piss him off. He did it with one intention. This is to inflame him.
It was bait.
Yeah, 100%. And so then I was thinking, at first, I was like, whoa, what a punk rock move from Matt and Trey to sign a $1.5 billion deal and then say, F you, Paramount, and your merger. But the merger was already complete. So now it's in my assumption, and I could be wrong, and I could be retarded. I don't know if you want to say that too much, though. But my assumption now, or my theory, is that Paramount said, get him, right? Like, this is what we had to do. We had to settle a BS lawsuit, $16 million. He held up this business deal for months, only off of his own ego and, whatever the case, political reasons. Now, get him. Make him mad. Everything's already said and done. We're doing it. We got the merger complete. Get him. Right? Send their trained assassins after him. And again, you could disagree and say, oh, well, Matt and Trey, they've hated Trump forever. Okay, they've never taken a shot before. Not like this. And Paramount, if they aired it. It's on Paramount Plus right now. It's on every one of their platforms. And if it's something that obviously would have affected a business transaction, we wouldn't have seen it, but we already know that's already set in stone. It's something that not only did they greenlight, they probably encouraged and was like, can you, I wouldn't even be surprised with their notes to be in the very last minute. Is there any way you could make his penis smaller?
Well, here's the thing to remember too. Much like The Simpsons or other animated programs, these things are done months ahead of time. Right?
Yes.
Now, this merger has been in the works for a long time.
Yes.
And so, I mean, even like before Trump got back in office, this has been going on for maybe over a year. They've been trying to make this happen with Skydance. So, and also the thing is, Matt and Trey are their own entity. I mean, they do pretty much whatever the hell they want to do. But there is some oversight. So to your point, they were probably like, okay, you know what? We've seen your scripts. We've seen what you're going to do. We're okay with that. But let's just time it. And that's why Matt and Trey were like so mad when they delayed it a month. But you're right. It was like they wanted to get this done.
Yeah.
So there wouldn't be another $16 million payout or whatever it is. But he's mad.
Yes, he is mad. And the White House did respond. And, this is just a follow-up of our, beef of the week, Paramount versus the president. And the response to the White House was pretty funny. They said in a statement, they said the show hasn't been relevant in 20 years and quote unquote has no authentic or original content. A show so irrelevant that the White House is talking about it.
I know. Yeah, you're touching a nerve when they talk, and then also he'll bring up ratings or something.
I know
the world doesn't go around by ratings.
No, and the reason why the $1.5 billion deal for 50 episodes of South Park is, I was explaining to Emil yesterday, because he's just like, that's a lot just for episodes on cable television these days. It's like, that's not what the deal's for. The deal is for the IP to stream on Paramount Plus globally, and it's merchandise, and it's all encompassing. And when you look at South Park as an IP globally, it's a very profitable brand and very popular all over the world. And that's why $1.5 billion makes sense on that kind of deal. Just for 50 episodes. So, and I think, and moving forward, I'm not sure on this if it might be Paramount exclusive, because if you recall, we covered this before. Matt and Trey were brilliant in their streaming rights, and they were ahead. They saw what the future was going to bring. And so when they signed their deal, they're like, yeah, you get first airing rights on Comedy Central. You can air that all day, but we get to stream our show on our own website, whatever we want. And we have the ownership right to stream it wherever we want. And they didn't even know what streaming was. They're just, they're the big old school media. And they're like, yeah, go on your little internet. And then, of course, the boom of all the streaming services happened. And now HBO's like, hey, we want that. And like, okay, you could have that for this much. Paramount's like, we want it. I'm like, yeah, you could have it too, but you got to pay us this much. And
the last time somebody had a deal this smart was George Lucas when Star Wars came out, and he said, I want all the merchandising rights. And 20th Century Fox is like, whatever, no one buys toys and stuff. And that's where he made a couple $2 billion.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So seeing ahead in the future. All right. Well, let's all just focus our attention on the big release this week, because we've been talking up for a couple weeks. I was very excited when Superman came out and delivered. Now it's time for Marvel to right the wrongs of the past and get this ship back on course. And they're hoping to do so with Fantastic Four. So, Herb, you saw Fantastic Four?
I did.
How was it?
It was, you know what? And I just got to preface this by saying this was my comic book growing up. Fantastic Four. Later on, when I was a teenager, I was a little more interested in X-Men and stuff like that. But growing up, Fantastic Four was my book. So I've been constantly disappointed by everything that's been put out over the last 20 years, them trying to get it right. And remember, this was in Sony's hands because Marvel had sold off X-Men, Spider-Man, and Fantastic Four. That's why they couldn't make the movies when Marvel got going and they got their juju going.
Right.
So,
and that's why they continued to suck over and over again.
Yes.
It's the fourth.
This is the fourth that actually made it to theaters. There was a previous one that never even got released.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'm going to tell you, I'm happy to report that this one is good.
Okay.
All right. Is it fantastic? Maybe in moments it is. But again, they get so much right for a change. And I mean, this is everything from, yes, the casting, sure, it's Pedro Pascal, his movie of the week, because he's in every single movie.
Right.
But the casting works. I love the setting of this. It's an alternate universe Earth where it's like New York City, but it's like a mid-century modern. It's a cool world they live in. I like the revisioning of the Baxter Building, which is their headquarters. I think Galactus is amazing.
Okay, so when you have a superhero movie, you need a good big bad guy. Galactus delivers, like, oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. And then, of course, do stick around. I mean, if you haven't seen the spoilers, there is a mid-credit and an end-credit scene, so you do want to stick around. But this one really flies by quick. I'll tell you, I don't mind the gender swapping of the Silver Surfer. We can ask Todd what he thinks about that, but I think it works. I think that, they get the thing right. He's believable. It's a fun movie. It's a fun summer movie, and it leads into what we're going to have Avengers Doomsday in 2026. So it's nice to get the Marvel's first family back into the universe. As we mentioned before, they make an appearance in the post-credit scene of the Thunderbolts. You see the Fantastic Four ship coming into our space. And so it's fun to see this. I like that it's not another origin story. Like that was just like we've done that so many times. And as everybody who listens to this show knows, I don't like Miles Teller, and he was the last Reed Richards. And so I'm happy to see anybody be Reed Richards beside Miles.
Yeah, but even Pedro Pascal. So, going into Avengers Doomsday is basically going into the storyline of a Marvel Secret Wars, right? And Reed Richards is a huge part of this because this is Dr. Doom versus Reed Richards.
Yep.
And so you're going to have to carry this franchise here for the next 10 years.
You're right.
And Pedro Pascal is already kind of like an older gentleman, So is the casting of Pedro Pascal not ideal in the long term for Marvel?
I think it is. We don't know where it's going to go. I mean, they have said that Avengers Doomsday, that Reed's going to be the lead. Because the Doctor Doom is the big baddie. They replaced what's his name, Kang, with Doom. So I mean, I think to your point, maybe John Krasinski would have been a better
Really?
Reed Richards. Just because he's younger. You know what I mean? A little bit. He's believable as Reed. I think it's interesting, the new controversy. I'm surprised you haven't tapped into this yet, but apparently Vanessa Kirby and Pedro Pascal have been a little handsy.
No, I do want to talk about that. I have not talked about it yet,
Okay.
but as far as actors and co-stars being lovey-dovey, physical touch and stuff, like we were talking about with Scarlett Johansson in the past, they took this to a whole nother level.
Did they?
Oh my God. We're going to show some clips on the podcast broadcast, but there is your film review for Fantastic Four in theaters everywhere. Stick around. We got more coming up right after this. Rock 102.1 KFMA, or join us, youtube.com/beefvegan. Yeah, let me see if I could try to pull out. I was looking at some of these clips. I have to do it on Twitter. But the co-star, along with Pedro Pascal, who, most women, like if Yaz was here, she'd be sliding out her seat, right? She just loves him so much.
Yeah.
So many women are like, oh, Pedro Pascal. And I understand the appeal like 10 years ago or something like that. I'm getting to a point where I'm like, still, okay, man. Well, something to look forward to when I'm 70. Then I can get all the hot ladies. He's not that old, but the name of the co-star, the female,
Vanessa Kirby.
Vanessa Kirby is like molesting Pedro Pascal publicly
Really?
in interviews, so much so where it makes me uncomfortable, right?
Really?
Yeah.
You?
Yeah, dude, and I'm a pervert. I'm watching this with my pants down and being like, what's going on?
But here's the other part about this. She's pregnant
Mm-hmm.
and she's engaged.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
dude.
that's a little bit, I don't know. I felt uncomfortable with Scarlett just because I like Colin so much.
Yes.
This one feels, I mean, people are even commenting like they're a little handsy with each other. And I get it. You spend a lot of time on set and a lot of blue screen stuff and green screen, whatever. And, you get close, but it's like, have some respect, dude.
Yeah. Well, I know. It's not so.
Not bad.
Oh, I'll pull it up right now. Let's
it-
see. Her name again is, spell it for me.
Vanessa Kirby.
Vanessa Kirby.
Kirby.
Yeah, I know just by putting it into Twitter that it will have plenty of examples of her. She's a beautiful woman. She does great. Okay, here's one. Look at this. Like if this was your wife, you'd be upset, dude. You're doing an interview and maybe she's already kind of feeling mothering, but it's like, is it mothering or lovering? Let's see. Okay, let me make sure the volume's at a good level here. All right, so here's
These are gorgeous. I think that's my favorite image so far.
Just a hand.
look at that.
Yeah.
Oh,
As long as we don't have-
I'm
This
just
is
done.
what you call an erogenous zone, by the way, right? Like anyone who knows the game a little bit, if you want to get things flowing everywhere in the body, so around the neck and the ear region, very erogenous, sexual, sensual zone. And in fact, guys, anyone watching the stream, if you're skipping that area during sex, you're doing it wrong, dude. Foreplay is very important, to kind of get things going. And this is hard for, like, if I was a man, now, if I was Pedro Pascal in this situation, I know I'm being interviewed. I'm looking at something on an iPad, and in my head, I'm thinking, don't get a boner. Don't get a boner. Don't get a How can you not? How can you not?
No.
Look at
I
that,
don't have
dude.
to see my face.
Yeah.
Here's another situation.
In some of the best.
This is a mashup because he comes up.
It's some of the best. Some of the best men in the world, so they don't count.
Yeah.
These are gorgeous. That's
So
she's like doing what America wants to do to Pedro.
True.
So I get why she's doing it, but it makes me uncomfortable. I'm with you.
yeah, and
I don't know. I disagree. I just think it's very affectionate, and she's just being very friendly.
No, yeah, that's funny. Liz said, unless my husband is in the room, it's too much. All right. So, and you say it's okay.
I didn't get any super hardcore
I'll tell you what.
molesty vibes.
That's great. That's great. I tell you what, if you were doing that to me, right, and on the stream, your husband would be like, "What the F are you doing?"
It's not for me. I'm not going to do that. But I'm watching it and I'm not like, they might just be like besties.
But that's what makes it kind of hypocritical.
Okay. No, I'm going to go back to Wicked though. Do you remember Ariana Grande and what's her face? Cynthia. Yeah.
Ibiro or whatever.
That made me uncomfortable because like it was like so like
in each other's personal
but
space.
It was similar though. It was similar.
Not that similar. So if you're saying if you couldn't do that to me and your husband would get upset, then obviously it's inappropriate for her to do that to Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
That's the argument.
Okay.
Right?
All
exactly.
right, fine. I'll side with you guys.
I'm
with you guys.
Yeah. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. I feel good. I won an argument. But it's true because we did talk about this controversy of Pedro Pascal and his co-star. Her name again?
Vanessa Kirby.
Yeah, she's super handsy in all these interviews, more so than Scarlett Johansson, and we're not reading into things. And Mari made the attempt to defend her, but then I said, if you did the same thing to me in front of your husband, what was his reaction be? And the reality is, like in anyone in a relationship, you're like, whoa. That is a very lover-esque body language, and touchy-feely.
And I mean, granted, in the movie, they're married, right? And
of course.
And they have a kid. And so, and they're the existential crisis, the world's going to be devoured. So, I mean, a lot of stress, whatever. And I mean...
Did anyone tell her it's not real, though? And she's acting?
I don't know.
Are they trying to sell it, though? Like they're trying to sell the relationship.
It's a Marvel movie. Do they need to try to sell it? It's Fantastic Four, It's not
valid.
Yeah, it's not the indie. The hills have eyes as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, dude. So, yeah, I don't need her to go down on anyone to want to go see this movie. Just gonna go see it.
That's true.
But anyways, all right. Well, let's focus on something. Let's focus on something that's sorry. I wanted to record this for something else. Okay, let's focus on something that we don't have to go to movie theaters for, but we are equally excited. Is this out right now? Happy Gilmore 2?
It is.
On Netflix.
It is.
Damn, we're going to be binging a lot of stuff this week. I've been waiting for this movie forever. Of course, this is the sequel and follow-up Adam Sandler's Happy Gilmore, and this is 29 years in the making. Tell me about Happy Gilmore 2.
So, well, they did not give it to us early, so I don't know. I don't know. And there's no Rotten Tomatoes score, so it's definitely for fans. I'm going to tell you that
it's a comedy.
It's a comedy.
It's a Sandler comedy.
And everybody that was alive, no Bob Barker, they could come back. So Kevin Nealon, I mean, all these folks are back, right? So that's fun that everybody came back. The premise is just that he's coming out of retirement to pay for his daughter's ballet school. So I mean, there's the premise. He wants to help her out. He was done, but he's coming back, and some great cameos, I'm told. It's the thing. Here's the thing I think about behind the scenes. I don't know if you remember, a number of years ago, Adam signed a big deal with Netflix, and it was a big deal. Like it was like, you're going to give us like 7 movies, and you're going to be the face of Netflix. And did a couple things that were sort of mediocre. I think it's at the end of his contract, I think he was like, I don't want to blow a good idea on these guys. Let's just go back and revisit. What can we do? How about Happy? All right, let's do that. And of course, everybody was down for it. And of course, now also with the success of Stick, the Owen Wilson golf show on Apple TV, you've got even more like, hey, golf is working, man. Let's go back to the well. And nobody does golf better than Sandler. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, Liz on our stream said Rotten Tomatoes score is 60% and 73% popcorn meter. That's actually really good for an Adam Sandler movie.
See, that popped up in the last hour because it was not there an hour ago.
I'll say this. I mean, obviously, if you're a fan of Adam Sandler and all his shtick, and you're a fan of like celebrity cameos of like, oh, that person's in it, that person's in it too. That's gonna make it a fun watch for this weekend or whenever you get around to it on Netflix. And that's what I'm excited about. I've been seeing the trailers. There's going to be a lot of callbacks, so it's probably a good idea to watch the original first.
Yeah, for sure.
So you get all the jokes, or just go ahead and enjoy the ride. He's not going to overthink you. It's Sandman.
No, he is not. It's Sandman. That's right.
So a lot of big releases happening this weekend, but this one you can enjoy on your couch. All right, so we have a couple more we're going to squeeze into on the podcast broadcast because a lot of big releases happening. So you can join us youtube.com/beefvegan. We'll wrap things up with a beef tip after these words. I'm Rock 102.1 KFMA. And I'll just say, I mean, trying to follow the comments as well. Kim, not a fan. Kim is not a fan of me and of any of my hot takes or anything else. So that's all right. Well, you can't win them all.
Is that Adam's daughter's
thank you for checking it out.
acting review, though? Or debut?
No. She's been in. They've
Yeah.
been in so many of Sandler's movies because Sandler always likes to cast not only his friends but also his family. And his daughters have been featured in his films since a very young age.
Yeah.
This is just the latest, and they're almost full blown adult women now. And you can see, and they're really good actually.
And best of all, they got their SAG card because their dad cast them. So
exactly,
You know,
what a
let's be
great way
honest.
for like a parent to be like, I don't want to have to pay for health insurance. You're on the SAG. There you go.
Nepo babies. Yep. that is true.
Somebody's calling right now. Let's see how well that goes. Rock 102.1. Who's this?
Yo, it's Nick.
All right, what's up, Nick?
Hey, got up at 3 o'clock, watched the Gilmore movie, and hands down, 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
Wow. Okay.
All right. Well, then, how many stars did you get it out of 5?
Oh, I would have to go 4.5 on that one.
Wow. If you gave it 4.5 stars out of 5, then it would be 9 out of 10. That was a trick question. I was just seeing how your math was.
Math.
Math is always horrible for me.
I know. Well, I had to fuck with you a little bit, but that's good. I'm excited about it too, dude, and I'm definitely gonna get around to it. And so, yeah, Eminem's in it.
Wow.
There's an Eminem documentary coming out. I don't know if
Bad-
it's official. Huh?
Bad Bunny's in it. There was like 17 new people that were introduced into this.
Mm-hmm. 17 new people.
Wow.
All right, yeah, something to look forward to.
Yeah.
All right, well, I appreciate the heads up there, Nick. And that was the official Nick review of Happy Gilmore 2. So 4 out of 5 stars, 8 out of 10. All right, appreciate it, Nick. Later. And Patrick, is Patrick on the stream yet? Or is he avoiding the stream? I give him tickets and he doesn't get on the stream. All right. Okay, so a couple things. Now, Herb gave me this poster. Is it upside down?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is.
And this comes out on Wednesday. No, it was right.
Okay.
It comes out on Wednesday, and it was one of the breakout hits of Sundance this year. It's called Together, and it's Allison Brie and Dave Franco, who have been married since 2017. So there's a certain energy there that works.
Big time.
They basically play a couple who they're sort of at a turning point in their relationship, and she gets a job upstate New York and as a teacher, and he sort of reluctantly comes along. He's sort of a struggling musician. He hasn't owned up to the fact that at 35 he's never going to make it as a real musician. So they're at a crossroads in their relationship, and they go on a hike and they sort of encounter something that's a little bit odd. And it puts a whole new twist on their relationship. And it's a very smart, very well done horror film. Was picked up immediately out of Sundance. And so this is one of the sort of the first films coming out of Sundance, which again was in January. So here we are in July. A lot of times the big ones out of Sundance don't get released until October, November because they're award stuff. This one is solid. It is definitely worth your time. The effects are amazing. And I love those two together. It's just, I mean, he's great. Every time I see him, of course, I go back to Neighbors because he was so great in Neighbors.
He was.
But I love them. I love their dynamic. I love that they're making films together. So this is a fun one. It's coming out, I think, on Wednesday.
Yeah, usually movies with couples is hit or miss, right? Yeah. But I was seeing the buzz. I saw the trailer. Looks super freaky. Horror is not necessarily my jam because it looks really scary and intense. Actually, intense, I think, is the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
And I'm just a fan of Allison Brie. So and Franco. So yeah, it's good for them. So all right, out of these films here, let's see, Oh Hi or The Home, because both of those are in theaters. Which one would you recommend over the other or either?
So I did not get to see The Home. It's at 26%. That's the Pete Davidson where he's doing community service at an old folks home, and the old folks are scary on the 4th floor. Now we're at the villains are now old people. We're out of like Russians and the Middle Eastern and people. Now it's old people.
Right.
But Oh Hi is a really sort of quirky, fun film. Again, it's a couple story where Molly Gordon, who is wonderful, she played Carmi's girlfriend in The Bear, so you recognize her from things. But she basically is in this relationship with a guy. It's been about 4 months. They decide to go away for the weekend. They show up, they're having a good time, having a little sex, making dinner. Nice. And all of a sudden, it becomes apparent that she thinks they're on a different track than he does. She thinks they're going to be exclusive. They're monogamous. They're whatever. He's like, no, I'm just screwing around, baby.
So, isn't that like the tale is all the time, For Rock 2.1 KFMA, Film Stratford is giving us a rundown of the movie Oh Hi. Continue.
So it's just it takes a very dark turn after she realizes that he is not as into her as she is to him. There's some handcuffs. There's some very interesting moments that happen. So this is a good date movie, honestly. Go check this out with your significant other. Just sort of make you think about relationships in a different way. It's a very funny movie. It's very sweet. You haven't seen this story before.
All right, well, that's good. Yeah, I mean, considering it's coming out on probably the worst possible weekend a movie can come out, right?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah.
Oh.
It's a small film. You know what I mean? I think it premiered at South by, so it's not a big budget thing, but it's fun. And if you're not into the Fantastic Four and you've already seen Superman, this is a good choice.
Yeah, I love it. All right. Well, unfortunately, that's all the time we have for the show today, but I do appreciate everyone for listening along. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube page, youtube.com/beefvegan. Before we leave you, I'll give you a beef tip. There's a new Gen Z phone habit that if you adopt might make your life better. And I'll tell you what, I am addicted to my phone. I see my hours per day that I put on this thing, doing all editing, searching things. It's obsessive. So this might improve your life. Use Do Not Disturb mode on your phone all day long, right? So more and more young people are using Do Not Disturb mode to set digital boundaries. And experts say it can help with sleep, reduce anxiety, and make you feel less overwhelmed. It's those little notifications that give us that dopamine hit. And then when we don't get those notifications, what do? Dopamine withdrawal, right? So we can't be dependent on this. Remember, back in the day when Herb was young, they didn't even have telephones. They used pigeons to carry messages, right? And then before that, or right after that, there was something called landlines. And even that being like, I grew up with landlines makes me sound like I graduated the same year that Herb did from high school. So, these kids are figuring it out, which is good. They get the technology and then they kind of walk it back. Now, we have been 100% dependent on those dopamine hits. And if you feel like it's a little too much, you've been feeling too much anxiety in your life, a small baby step that you may be able to make is to turn your phone on Do Not Disturb mode and then, live like we did in 1995. It's a good time, man. A good time. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Be back Monday. Till then, drive safe, ride safe. And as always, rock local. Later.
When you wish upon a side of beef, soon will come an end to all your grief. But if you've been mean or kind of bad, I will knock out all your teeth.
Babuski.